つやっていきましょう。よいしょ。でしたところからね。
The rotting man lies on his side. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy.
What you do know is, at 18.9 kilometers, the dormant shield volcano, Corpus Mundi, is the world's highest summit, and the failure of the 38 single, Epui Descent, to crack the top 20 was the death knell of disco. But what a field autopsy is, you have no idea. You must have me confused with the Copperpedia. You, sir, you are the Copperpedia.
There truly is a time for everything, even for yellow gardening gloves. However, they are lacking hygienically. I suggest you get in there. I mean when I need you to. Until then, I should handle physical contact, and you should take notes. That's right.
You knew it because you inspected your ledger. The lieutenant is relieved you know the protocol. The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in, above those, An 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with
That's you.
the corpse is indifferent to your scribblings.
KK57-0803.0815.
KK equals Kim Kitsuragi. 57 equals Precinct 57, followed by his date 0803 and time of arrival 0815 on the scene. He's
ああ、
indexed the
丁
case
寧やな。
after
英語圏
himself,
での日付の
not
表記は月、日の順でなく、日付の並びになるので、これは3月8日である。
That's because he doesn't want to bring up the messy question of your initials.
Next. NA. Next. NA. Roughly 50.
Dry 40. The damage is so extensive, it's better to err on the young side. He nods.
Mondial.
Fair to olive-skinned, from the Isola of Mwindi. The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial.
Fucky, fucky!
ファキファキ。
Male.
Pigs can have sex!
セックス。
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face.
We're still going with March 4th. 5th. What else? 9. Body ident...
KK 57 0503.
None. At least not after the initial examination.
A strange word. Treatment.
Interfering with the body's...
Don't overdo it. It's okay to be unsure.
They'd have to have incapacitated and carried him over. This man was more than a match for untrained dogwalkers.
Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-Delorean. Somewhere in Jamrock North, a small wood shed behind Rosencrantz Row. Lieutenant Nick Feuerbat puts his hand to elsewhere yet. An obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette bull-like against the window. Outside, the building is tall, 7 stories wind-wrapped in solitude. Most of the apartments are unoccupied. This was a suicide. The other, an accident. The small one. And so, all across Jamrock, Coal City, GRIH, 42 deceased persons found today. 42 stations of breath.
We should start.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copy paper.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodin, I think. Let's see.
See, it's happening.
Babrodin, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something.
The boots are ceramic, vitreous enamel. They are fused to his skin from blood flowing downward post-mortem. The boot has a serial number. It's E50.100.100. Tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single continuous tattoo, resembling a national pattern. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings to be added to the case files as document. The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow. Well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age 40. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with the age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
The hair under your latex fingers feels cold to touch, wet. The stench is suffocating. There must be brilliantine in there. He's combed his hair back with oil.
Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs, consistent with stones thrown.
Fucking low velocity? You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest, consistent with predation. Ligature mark. Steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Always good to think ahead. Now, we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark.
See, my pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
Fuck. スキルチェック、肉体装置。
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck. The knot is the weak spot. The chain cutters fit in there. Steady now. Like a flower arranger. 2 cuts and it should come loose.
70% か。
After some deliberation, you sink the cutter. Snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck. Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from chest is intact, normal contour, abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact.
Now, let's get out and see.
I fucking knew it!
This is clearly what they've been waiting for, ever since the autopsy began.
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
The dead man's penis is average-sized, congested from the downward collection of blood. The testicles are uneven in length, hanging un-
Ah yes, your hunch before. We can have a semen analysis requested from processing, if that's what you meant. Just right.
The corpse with his pants down does not have an opinion on the subject. All he has.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact.
Bullets have bitten little pieces out of him. It must have been excruciating.
In addition, I see smaller, residual scars.
From wounds sustained over 2, maybe more decades.
Last item, hands.
The hand feels heavy, filled with decay liquids.
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling. I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next? Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have...
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story.
What would that be?
The dead man looks, too, with barely contained excitement to hear the moral of his story.
I think that may well be the moral of every story. Good. Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts...
Yeah, jack that fucker!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal respiratory system. Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen.
From here, it looks as though the clown-faced man is screaming. But no scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. No, you don't. You can keep it in. You manage to suppress the contractions trying to enter your stomach. Mute silence as always.
Hemorrhaging present in mucus. Hepatobiliary, NA. Ah, are you a hepatobiliary expert? Neither am I. That's it. Same for toxicology and serology, NA. Unless you have untapped reservoirs of knowledge.
Reservoirs? No, but do they take obscure trivia and odd tidbits?
No. We already have one test.
Pigs requested semen like it's no big deal.
I'm not even interested in these boring milk cuts anymore. I haven't sucked him off or anything.
Leave it NA then. Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Gastrointestinal.
This will do.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila. What's next on the list? Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too. Head, chest and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation. And your opinion, officer? Agreed. Next injury? So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response.
At maximum velocity.
Has confessed to causing it at max.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 bot.
Right. Next. A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible. That's it. We have established cause of death. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over. Well, we established probable cause. We requested a test to be run on the genitals, but we were thorough with the list of injuries too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the... I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to for processing. He's thinking. You tilt your head. I'm sure we didn't get everything. There's always something.
into the what? In the past. I'm a joke. Look at me. A killer. Go ahead, Papa. What do you mean? It's the power you
Yeah, man! Don't be crazy! Inanimate objects and dead people can't...
He loves those because you're a copperoonie. Look at all of them. Here you go, you loony. Fuck no. Listen to yourself. You're not a Raphael anything. You're probably just Harry or something. You might be onto something there. Because you have. Do I remind you?
A child born with Muller's disease, harlequinism, grown up.
You sure I got out of that one? Coppellini. Maybe I was getting my rocks off. Do I look like an erotic auto-asphyxiation type to you? Captain Copperdroma.
He didn't choke himself. You know it.
Maybe I was getting my... It's a mishmash, Coppabolo. You think I'm Messinian, don't you? For you, this is how people from Messina speak. Well, I'm not from Messina, am I? My hair is too light a shade of... Yeah, well, he seems to think I'm also a racist, since... I know what this means. More questions. Come back later, Corpo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. Shoot, Looney Rooney. Because you have. Come back later, Corpo.
なんか忘れてんのかな。
Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also.
You run your hands over the victim's cold body, his limbs, his torso with its swollen organs. Maybe you should be more thorough. His fingernails have turned dark.
Do you think...
You can't shake the feeling that there are more secrets concealed in the flesh.
Okay, well, we are in livor mortis here. He is disintegrating. We need to refrigerate the body if we want to conduct another examination, and we need to do it fast. Hey, wasn't there a giant ice bear sarcophagus below that building? Now, detective, I've rarely been disappointed by the size of a giant. Let's move. With every hour, whatever we are looking for in the deceased will...
えーっと
This orange machine is dead still. You slip your finger. No. This is...
Equip the pry bar by going to the tools.
The bear's eyes are dead and empty.
It's certainly an eccentric choice, but it's more than big enough and cold enough. Honestly, it's perfect.
Both cables are unplugged from a giant electric mammal awakens. The dead...
Great. The owners of this building will just have to keep paying for the electricity sucked up by this monstrosity a little.
The bear's eyes are still glowing red, watching over all the ice cream wrapper.
Of course. I'll take the head. It's not going to be the easiest thing.
The body is heavier than you expected. Stinkier. It takes half an hour to get down to the basement. Then, to start into the fridge.
Beautiful. A dead body in an ice bear fridge. This is some of the best police work I've ever...
You have created an ice bear sarcophagus.
No, not really. Look at that. What have we done? We stuffed a dead body in an ice bear fridge. This story does not leave this room. As impressive as the fridge is, at least we've stopped the body from decomposing.
Inside the icy realm of the ice bear fridge, the corpse stands slumped, waiting.
Yes?
The bear's eyes are still glowing red.
Shoot, Looney Rooney. I like it a lot, brother. This really is your finest. Come back later, Corpo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible.
ちょっと待ってよ。
The bear's eyes are still
近く。
glowing red. It's guarding over the freezing corpse hidden inside its belly.
近く。特になしか。
An intricate web, the pattern still kind of has an ethnic feel to it, but nothing for you to discover. Someone who knows about history could gone.
歴史に詳しい人物。
There it is again. The scent of apricots with a touch of cinnamon. Smells bitter, citrus, sweet. Whatever petrochemical byproducts they used until a blossom of skin and flower petals erupts behind your clothes. Your heart working overtime, trying to keep so familiar. Yes, from the height of the sun sets into the sea, there is a movement next to you. The shuffle of a small coat. warm like the evening. Why are you talking to a gum wrapper?
Hmm. ああ、近くのビルな、これで。ということは、アンロック。早くやっとけばよかった。
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
ちょっと時間が必要な。
Yes? What do you want to know? What's there to say? It's the cop kind. Our precincts can't decide if Martinez is part of Jamrock or the Industrial Harbor. Yours or mine, as if we somehow... Well, sort of. It's less a matter of who gets to police Martinez. I think the dispatch desk just told both our stations about the hanging. There was quite the brouhaha at the 57th, I can tell you that. Time to settle it, they said. Cop off. But I assure you, I am not their finest art. Martinez? Nothing. It's just a puddle at the end of...
A tremble comes over you. Another after effect of ethanol poisoning, perhaps. Feels like leaves do when they rot. It's all part of the master plan, you see.
Really? It can't be that. Wouldn't that be something? And who could say it's not true? If you really don't remember anything, how would you... Yes, it's a wholly pointless matter. Forget I ever mentioned it.
Because you're the best qualified? No, that doesn't seem right. If you're so well qualified, why can't you remember why you were sent? Anyway, don't keep the lieutenant waiting.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
You feel nothing. If anything, it's uncomfortably warm in here. She has begun to idly clean one of her carving tools with her...
I'm listening. I'm pretty sure it still doesn't work, but sure. What do you... That's right. I haven't even written mine. Right, it used to be a gaming arcade. My advice, don't base your business on a fad. Hypnotism,
Agreed. Pinball is the one.
His disdain for pinball could not be clearer.
It can't be true. They don't work. Are you sure it was Slipstream SEA? Was it a woman? Maybe it was Plaisance from the bookstore. Tricentennial Electrics? It used to be a major electric company 100 years ago.
No, it was too real to be just... Whatever happened, keep your cool. It's probably better to admit that it was a harmless prank.
Pranks can be eerie. Oh, the kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing us. No solidarity. Why would Slipstream SEA have a... I'm still convinced.
My money is on electrical anomaly. I've heard of these, especially in an old building like this.
Sure, I'm listening. Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else? Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
ダイスそろそろできると思うんやけど。時間を潰したいときは。
A cockatoo is a parrot. This book talks about the delicate nature of twos, as well as introducing some of the most popular species among the bird enthusiasts. The funeral cockatoo, the major majestic cockatoo, and the most common bang bang cockatoo. It's colorfully illustrated. This is a yellow-tailed black cockatoo. Its specific name, Psittacus venereus, relates to its dark and somber plumage. This bird looks as if dressed for a funeral, 24/7. There is something indisputably ominous about it. Ooh. Perhaps the most impressive of all the species, in the words of poet-explorer Sir James Fournier, few birds more enlivened. Despite its banging name, the bang-bang cockatoo is actually the shyest of the species, common in almost all Seminoles forests, as well as zoos and... Yes, but all those cockatoo species are so different. Which one are you? You're right. You're the mediocrity embodied. This unsung bird belongs on your heraldry.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
How
did I be? Some of my friends were role players. I've grown crafty over the years. I'm sorry. I'm a bit overloaded just now, so I can only project nothing.
The lieutenant.
Your window looks directly...
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually...
She not.
Anything else, officer? I'm listening. Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else? Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering. Casting the like a smooth draw, the filament slides. The speaker comes.
Good evening. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule? Good. Please repeat the password. Received fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today? Fortress. One more fortress.
That's not bad.
Any other questions?
She repeats passwords. Programming people are all paranoid.
I work as for...
On an island, doesn't it get lonely? Sitting there all by herself.
Now, please tell me if there's a fortress. One moment, fortress.
That's not bad.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering. Casting the framework. Behind the hatch sits a cube-like crisscross of filaments. Smold. Nothing happens. The filament slides out of it. It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board. It takes about half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised. Which one do you want? AKA Leslie and Burke. AKA the public indecency drunk and the property damage drunk is a cursed case. Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. The only way for Leslie to stop displaying his genitals and for Burke to... You would think that, but you're wrong. Where's the fun in exposing your... Can you keep yourself off the streets? Threatening fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in. Locking them up in... It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH, had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street. Because there they are, on the corner of Perdition. And what is Leslie doing? Good, you're learning. If the files are to be trusted, that's all there is to. He must have it confused with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable He came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burko. Can't get out of his apartment, an invalid. Which is also why the officer responds. Does that sound like a Raphael something Costo to you, sir? Fine then, you've earned it. Not much has changed in the meanwhile. Ace is low. For the rest of the world, the ace is low is just some cool Revachol thing, politically neutral. In Revachol, it still holds.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die? We're inside the... But when I arrived...
Plaisance was right.
Creative.
I'm sorry. How did I... Some of my friends were role players. Not the special...
Some of those... She's thankful for the security they provide her.
なんでもらいやんねんろ。まあいいわ。別のところに行って、地下に行って、まずこっちに行って、ペンキくれっていう話をして。
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural? What for? Well, if it's for art. But what kind of art are we talking about? Sounds like you're just about to live out your self-pity, not make a statement. I can't have shit art on my conscience. You're about to cry internally, aren't you, Piggy? Oh, pathetic. Just give up. Art isn't for you.
You don't have the skills to execute something like this in practice. But, oh boy, she squints her eyes.
On fire. I say, sod off. You don't have the technical skills to do that. I like your idea. Should have thought of it myself. I don't... Then get your brush from fucking art.
Oops, my apologies. I guess I was trying. You're a police officer and a grown-up. Why are you trying to impress her? Maybe try a different approach.
And I need an aircraft carrier. So what? Have you got any kids? But fine, take the brush.
You know what you should be able to find in your government-issued vehicle? Red-dyed heavy fuel oil. Are you kidding me? Fuel oil is so much cooler. No way you're disfiguring that beautiful wall with something as pedestrian as ordinary paint.
My fuel oil is for my kinema. Use your own fuel if you are unable to contain your artistic impulses, but please, leave my...
A shift in temperature. The air chills around you. A former architect stands before a slice of window, a room plan in her hand. A cold wave has made the air in the building stand still and is red from the cold. She's faint pencil lines on paper depict the same place, but are missing. It's clean and empty, with new tapestry embellishing the wall. She had an eye for beauty.
Yes?
Gendarmerie, you found it.
His slender figure is backlit by city lights. Its distance, it feels like a Friday. He seems to be in a good mood.
Beautiful. So tell me, are you here to make things right again? Beautiful. I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting. That's nice, but I don't have...
He takes another drag off his
Besides...
He's going to leave you alone again. Something tells you you're never going to talk to an individual this cool or...
To the city.
A man on high heels stumbles out of a basement club. Music blasting over the entire district. It's chilly, and as the chemicals hit his nervous, something flutters in the corner of the lieutenant's mouth.
We'll talk. Just not to take care, alright?
And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him.
Who knows, detective? It's, different, of course. Something so mysterious. Very.
He's barely holding it together.
Come on, detective, let's go. We've got a potential witness to interview.
Officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia.
His hands are clean and well manicured. This is a man who knows.
My name is Charles Vildrouin, and I am an official with the coalition government. I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I am here to...
Hanging? What a drag. He seems like a cultured gentleman. You should ask him about the finer things.
I got it from the head of the samurai and then again.
He's alluding to the decade-long war.
That's really all I can tell you about it.
The lieutenant takes out his notebook and nods to you to proceed.
I'm sorry to say I did, officer. Officer, it's very difficult to describe.
He holds out his hands and...
What do you mean, like in a play?
It was just so strange. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body. That's when I understood.
Sounds like the victim was unconscious, or at least incapacitated. Well done, detective.
I couldn't see their faces well, and there were quite a few of them. Let's just say that the laboring classes can get rather expressive with their profanity. I couldn't tell you exactly.
The lieutenant sends you a sharp look at the mention of that number.
That's a giant you're describing. No, they were all drummers. Why? No.
I think we can drop the drummer angle. That was...
I went back inside.
Were you able to see anything?
Officer, the yard was pitch black. There was nothing to see, but I could still hear their voices. All men, I presume. But again, I believe they were mostly white, though I believe I saw 2 Aeropagites among them. And I am quite certain that... Well, that's the strangest part, officer. Nothing happened. Eventually, their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, no anything. You're right, of course. That is what I'm afraid I don't have.
About what time was all this happening, approximately?
All I can say is that it was late. No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day. Of course, anything I can do to assist the RCM. The coalition is only looking out for the price stability. The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight. La communauté internationale is your employer, technically speaking. The governing authority of Revachol. The RCM is but one part of this. Yes, as I said before, I am a commissioner from...
Wait, there isn't actually an Institute of Price Stability, is there?
It is the most important thing. It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy, which is essential.
Basically, it makes...
Précisément. Too much inflation. That's why the Institute of Price Stability works to keep inflation just below 2%. But not too far below, no. The coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of the price stability. A sound monetary policy is essential for address. But oh, I don't have my leaflets on me today. That's too bad. You can always call our information man. It's the International Organization for Moralists. And, but of course. Well, do you value freedom? Do you believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values?
Me?
You've managed to catch the lieutenant off guard.
I'm a lieutenant of the RCM.
A very moralist.
The lieutenant is practiced in the art of putting on a show for one's superiors.
The Occident is part of the normal. Martinez? No. Martinez. Revachol is generally difficult. It's led by an interim government, but they are working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking. Is this option D usually the most reasonable answer? Not boring, my friends. Moralism is all about compromise and achieving the achievable. Now, enough of this delightful political interlude. Was there anything else you wanted to ask? What's there to say? Sur la Clé is a modern. Moreover, it is a great sponsor of less emerged countries.
Darling, that can't be an official designation.
Because a great percentage of Revachol's culture hails from Sur la Clé. Its language, its people, its cuisine even. Or at least in the down. Oranje is an exemplary nation who, as a core member of EPIS, contributes 28% of our annual budget. Next to Sur la Clé, Oranje is probably the most prominent member of the international community. Oranje's economy is one of the most advanced in the world.
But that didn't tell you anything.
About what? Oh, it's very urban and very well organized. Their streets are clean, their horse cars run on time, the people are polite and efficient. Ah, well, I'm renovating. It is an interesting project. You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when... Whatever you wish, officer. Ah, my friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and life has not been easy. Kedra is a candidate member of APIS. But that it's never going to happen. They entered negotiations in 21, and it's been pending ever since. EPIS is a very special program developed by the Moral Intern to support certain Occidental nations. It began as a unified system of weights and measures, which proved to be a wild success.
God, yes. Sweet.
It was such a wild success that we expanded it into an economic union for the processing of steel. Another success. A supranational political alliance. You mean Revachol? No, it's going to happen. It's one day going to be a candidate.
Except that candidate members never become.
No, candidate members do become members. Why do we even have the whole... But we were talking about my friend here, not politics. How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the insulin Isola? Oil platforms ablaze in the night? Au contraire. It's how millions of people end up where they are. Meeting the people they meet. It's how I came here, and my friend too. Sorry. Who? But I told you, officer. He's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Officer, you have to understand. He's deeply enmeshed in...
As though you weren't envious enough of the boy as...
He's a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. I'm just enjoying the view. We're old friends. Nothing's taboo between... I'm sure you'll see him around. He's very active. I'm all ears, officer. A moment. Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave. It's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing...
That's not the real reason he's so apprehensive. Men in his position shouldn't be seen loitering around in underprivileged young men's apartments in the middle of the night.
Of course. I'm glad. Was there anything else? My friend. What about him? Sorry. Who? But I told you, officer. He's deeply...
As though...
He's a truly free spirit. How did any of us become friends? But, au contraire, it's how millions Kedra is a can... That it's never going to happen. It's war. Kedra's an emerging market, but it still has a long way to go. Maybe that... I'm just enjoying the view. Listen. The Insulindian Bay. This place used to be a luxury accommodation, but the million real view stays. My friend comes and goes.
A busy bee? What an odd choice of words.
I'm all in, officer. I'm sorry to say I did, officer.
Easy, detective. No need to jump to conclusions.
Because I...
He's clearly not a man accustomed to being spoken to in that manner.
Officer, it's very difficult to describe.
He holds out his hands.
What do you mean? Like...
It was just so... I was on the balcony. That's when I understood.
Sounds like the victim was unconscious.
I went back inside.
Were you able...
Officer, the yard... Well, that's the strangest... Eventually, their shouts died down. I'm afraid I don't...
About what time?
All I can... My watch. Yes. No, I didn't see...
It seems... I think we have everything.
Of course. Anything I can do to assist the RCA. Of course.
止まっちゃっ